If you saw my recent video, we talked about how to maximize our Chase points for thousands of dollars in free travel so that you can travel most effectively and for the lowest amount possible. And if you haven't seen the video, spoiler alert, utilizing Chase's transfer partners by far gives us the most outsized value. In this video today, I want to make a follow-up and showcase 3 specific examples of how to use a step-by-step guide to redeem our points with Chase's transfer partners on hotel stays. And if you're not going to these 3 locations, you can still come back to this guide because it's simple and repeatable for any place you want to go, whether or not you're going here or somewhere else. Speaking of going somewhere, first location. We all dream of it. We all want to go back if we haven't already, and that's Hawaii. So the starting point is we need a card through Chase that can allow for transfer partners. And that on the personal side is either the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which is a $95 annual fee card, or the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which is $550. However, there's a rumor that there's a refresh coming, and if there is, I'll make an update to it. On the business side, you can have the Chase Business Inc. Preferred. These cards are so powerful because they enable you to move your points from some no annual fee cards like the Chase Freedom Flex or the Chase Freedom Unlimited and pool these points in these cards to be able to actually move them to our powerful transfer partners. In our first example of going to Hawaii, we're going to utilize Hyatt as our first transfer partner through Chase. So when you're in your Chase Sapphire Preferred or your Reserve in your ways to use points, you're able to select transfer points. So within this bucket, we can see all of Chase's great transfer partners, starting with any bonus offers that they might have offered right now. We're going to scroll past the airlines for now, because if you want to see a follow-up video on how to utilize their flight transfer partners, be sure to like the video down below and we'll make a follow-up. But we're going to scroll down to the hotels, and you can see in these different sections, you're able to link your loyalty account number to these different brands. And if you don't currently have one, it takes 5 minutes and it's super easy and also free to create account numbers with these different brands. Within Hyatt, I already have it enrolled and already have the account and linked. So I'm going to go ahead and you can see blurred out that my number's here, but you would just add your own if you haven't already. Click next, and you're able to transfer your points in 1,000-point increments. We'll pop over to Hyatt's actual website to see how many points we're going to need to redeem for this awesome trip to Hawaii. So we're going to type in Hawaii in the top left corner and pick some random dates in July 20th to the 27th, and we'll click Find Hotels. As you can see here, we have points selected so that we can see how many points we're going to need. And Hyatt does a good job of showcasing the amount of points here, as well as the cost per night in cash. So maybe let's look at this Hyatt Regency on Waikiki Beach Resort and Spa, which is a Category 5 hotel with 23,000 points a night. And if you just took advantage of the Chase Sapphire Preferred 100K sign-up offer, you can almost get 5 nights for free just from that one sign-up bonus. So what we can do is look at the different details down here, different room options, and we'll just go with the 1 king bed in Waikiki City, and we'll click Select and Book. To round it out, we'd go back to Chase's website and then transfer over 163,000 points to Hyatt. Usually the points are available within like 10 minutes or so, but just beware, sometimes it can take a little while. And as a reminder, as always, once you transfer points to the transfer partner, you're not able to bring them back to Chase. So be sure you're looking forward to this vacation here in Hawaii or wherever you're going, and then you can go ahead and select the standard room free night. And then what it'll allow you to do is move forward and actually book that. In this case, you'll still have a daily resort fee of $52. This point valuation gives us outsized value in comparison to the Chase Travel Portal, which gives us 1.25 cents per point with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, or 1.5 cents per point in the Chase Sapphire Reserve situation. So if we do the formula, we look at $3,054 minus the resort fee that we would still be paying every night because we still have to pay that in cash. So that comes out to be $364, and we divide all of that by 161,000 points. That gives us a cent per point valuation of 1.67 cents per point, which we can see is outsized value in comparison to the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Reserve. In our example of going to Greece, we're going to utilize Marriott, which is a different Chase transfer partner. And Marriott's really great because not only does it have a huge global footprint, but they have a really unique thing when you pay for nights with points. And that's you get every 5th night free. So we're going to head over to Marriott's website and type in Greece and search for those 5 nights from July 20th to the 25th, as well as use points and awards. There are a number of different options here in Greece, but we're going to scroll down and search and look at the Moxie. So you can see it's 140,000 points for the stay or $209 a night. We're going to look at this 1 queen bed for 140,000 points. That would have cost us $247 per night or $1,236 total. Like in our first example, we'd head back over to Chase to transfer those 140,000 points and we'd be well on our way to exploring Greece. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, I'm no math whiz, but even me with my mental math abilities could notice something a little bit weird on this one. So if we look at our $1,264 cost divided by 140,000 points, we only get a 0.9 cent per point redemption. What's going on here? Not only do we not meet our minimum threshold for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which we need at least a minimum of 1.25 cents per point to beat because we can already get that in the travel portal, or 1.5 cents per point on the Chase Sapphire Preferred, we notice it's not even close to that Hyatt value. What's up with this in Marriott? Well, different hotel chains have different point valuations for their hotel points. And so there are some cases where we don't necessarily want to transfer points to certain brands. Hyatt is notoriously the highest value transfer partner within Chase compared to Marriott and IHG, which we're going to break down next. I think in my opinion, the only time I'd really move my Chase points to Marriott would be if I already organically had enough points in my account from just staying at different hotel chains in Marriott to cover 3 nights, but I needed enough to cover the 4th to get that 5th night free. Then I think it makes sense to probably move the points. But if I'm booking a whole stay in Marriott, it really needs to be for a good reason. Like it's a once in a lifetime redemption or I get some incredible value. But in typical stays in Marriott, you're not getting that bang for your buck. Utilizing Hyatt instead, we can look at the Grand Hyatt Athens. With points, it's 12,000 points a night. So 60,000 points and the total cash price is $983. And that gives us over 1.5 cents per point for a similar range and similar stay. So as we can see, we transfer much fewer points to Hyatt than we would in Marriott. If, however, we were looking for a little bit more value and bang for our buck with a stay at Hyatt in Greece, I'd look at something like some sort of all-inclusive here, which is 25,000 points for $617 a night, and that gives us over 2 cents a point. So great value, and we get free food and drink. Really good stuff. But speaking of good stuff, let's get into example number 3 where we're going to sunny Miami. In this case, we're going to utilize IHG, our third Chase transfer partner for hotels, and you better stay to the end because there's a similar watch out here that you got to be careful of. So within IHG's site, we're going to do the same search for July 20th through the 25th in Miami. Now, IHG has a number of different hotel brands in its portfolio, but in this case, we're going to look at the Kimpton Epic Hotel, which is $263 a night in taxes and fees, or 40,000 points a night. We can go back over to Chase's website to move those 201,000 points over to IHG. So we'll go ahead and transfer points, and we get to the next screen after entering my loyalty number. Move those 201. You see the issue, right? Same thing again as Marriott. Here we've got $13.15 in cash value divided by 201,000 points. That gives us a cent per point redemption of 0.65 cents per point. Not even close to the 1.25 cent per point on the preferred or the 1.5 on the reserve. And again, nowhere near what we can get on Hyatt. So I'm not going to go through this whole breakdown again on Hyatt picking a hotel, but as you can see, there's a lot of options. And there are certain instances where some hotel brands make sense and some don't when it comes to point redemptions. The great thing about the credit card game is that it's flexible and it's personal and it still gives you options. There can still be examples where I just want to pay in cash when the cent per point redemption isn't a lot, or it's $100 a night and I don't worry about paying it in cash at times. And I want to save my points for some bigger and better redemption. But speaking of bigger and better redemptions and actually earning points, you're going to want to check out this video right here on how to maximize your Chase points, or this one right here on different Chase credit cards to actually earn points for awesome trips just like this. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks so much. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and let me know down below if there's anything else that you want to see. Thanks so much, and I'll see you over there.